You tuned in to the 7-Day Theory. Hard body, hard spirit.
What up, my people? Hard body, hard spirit. Check this. Euphoria. Spoilers for Euphoria. Sadly, it just ended. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Because if you haven't watched it, you just missed the best show probably ever. This is my favorite show probably of all time. As far as right now, 2026, this is my favorite show that I've ever watched, and the character of Rue specifically, what Zendaya was able to do with Rue and her depiction of someone of a young person that is a opiate addict, a heroin addict, a opiate addict. Her depiction is so real to life, and it's not just her; it's really the whole show, like. What they did with as far as the addiction and showing like people get sponsors, like how that's how she met Ali. Ali was her sponsor, right? Ali, and he ended up being calling her his daughter, right, at the end. But in the beginning, though, he was just her sponsor, and that's what we get when you get clean, you get off of drugs, you go to meetings and you find a sponsor. They take you through the steps. 12 steps of either AA or NA or HA, right? So, but whoever wrote this show, and I believe the guy the director or writer, his name's Sam, the creator of the show. I don't know if he's the director or the writer, but whoever wrote this show and directed it had to know a lot about addiction. Either they went through it themselves or they researched it like fully, or they knew somebody that went through it. Because the things that they depict in this show, I've literally done. I've literally had these thoughts. I'm in recovery. I'm a opiate addict, heroin addict, fentanyl addict, right? Opiates. It was my DLC, my drug of choice. But the thing, like, I've never related to a character as much as I related to Rue. For one, she's mixed, so already I'm mixed. My dad, and except her mom was black, my mom was white, her dad was white, my dad's black, right? But right there, I already connected with her right there because she's mixed, right? And she's being raised in a single mother household. So was I. The only thing different was I didn't have any siblings. Rue has a younger sister. But the dynamic in that first season and in the second, but in that first season, in the dynamic between her mom and her, they nailed the shit. Like, that was literally my relationship with my mother. Specifically, a scene where her mother I forget the reason why. She probably just thought she was getting high, so she was like, "Hey, I want you to take a drug test." Rue's mom told Rue, she was like, "I want you to take a drug test." Right, and this is something I went through time and time again. Where my mom would, like, when I lived with my mom, she would suspect me of using drugs. She'd be like, "Hey, I want you to take a drug test. If you're not using something, if you're not using, you take this drug test, right?" So, but what she did when she took that drug test, I can't remember if she used someone else's urine, or she just or she bought fake urine, or she diluted her somehow. I forget what she did, but she tampered with it. I forget exactly what she did. She might have got pee from somebody else. I'm trying to think, but regardless, I've done that exact same thing, and even the aftermath of when because as addicts we don't want this. It's like when you're in active addiction, but you're trying to, but to everybody around you, your loved ones and everybody that you know, you're trying to present yourself like you're not an addict, right? You're trying to really fool people to think that you're not using drugs, right? You're not in addiction. You're trying to make them think that you're clean, you're sober, you're doing fine, all that, right? So we will come up with that's like the one thing, the last thing that we want exposed is for, because that's our like dirty little secret, right? Because for the most part, a lot of addicts, that might be the only thing that they do that's that would be looked at as negative or that they feel is wrong. A lot of addicts just go to work, or we have regular lives, right? So this might be the only part of their life that is shameful, right? So that's something that we don't want exposed. So we'll do a lot of shit to hide that fact, to not let that dirty secret come out and be exposed for who we really are, which is addicts, right? We work hard to conceal that, and I definitely did. But even in the aftermath, after she did what she did, right? She used someone else's urine, or she tampered with the urine to make the drug test come out like it was negative, like she wasn't on, like she hadn't used drugs. So even like her mom, even the way her mom reacted, my mom would react the same way. I would tamper with the drug test or the urine, or I get somebody else's, or I dilute my own, right? And then in leading up to it, they're like side eyeing you. They're kind of worried, and they're really wanting you to do this thing so they can really so they can so they can feel okay, right? So they can feel like your life is not in danger. This show depicted that scene in a lot more the realest way. Even the fact of how Rue looked, like my skin, like I'm light skinned, right? And in the wintertime I get kind of pale, but when I'm withdrawing, even the look, how Rue looked, her physical body, how her skin, this color of her skin, her lips, how she looked when she was in withdrawal is exactly how I looked when I was in withdrawal from opiates. Lips be all chapped and dry, skin be pale as hell. Like I look like you look like you sick, like you whatever. Like, you know how people be like, oh, you like you're glowing and you look like you got a glow to you. This is the opposite. This is like you look like you on death's door, like some shit like that. Like your skin gets real pale. Mine did. So even that fact, like that, like it's the details, the little details, like the sneezing when they're like that. That's something you do in withdrawal too. You sneeze. A lot of people when they go through opiate withdrawal, they sneeze a lot. I definitely would. I would be sneezing all day long when I was in withdrawal, yawning a lot. They just got a lot of shit like that, like the nitty gritty. Like it's like, damn, how did they even know that shit? Like, you know what I mean? Some shit I was like, how did they even know that? It was like they pulled it right from my life for real. But the character of Rue, loved Rue. I love what Zendaya did with just her personality. I loved her little, like she would crack me up. She always have it was just her like off-putting sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like her kind of, it's not over the top. It's kind of subtle, and it's kind of it's almost like she does in the Spider-Man movie, where she's kind of that like what do they call them? Not emo, but more like a loner type. But she always makes those witty like smart, like backhanded comments that are funny. So Rue Crack, I loved Rue's personality. Love what she did with that character as far as her personality, and she in the show, it does show like Rue did have a big heart. It's hard for me to even talk about this show because me personally and people all over the world have lost so many people to addiction. Lost so many people to addiction. My oldest kid's mother. Opiate overdose. That's it happened to her. You know, she went through that. She the same way. Me myself. The closest I got to death was from drugs. I obviously didn't die, but I've been close a few times, and I've OD'd more times than I really want to admit, for real. Like, more to, like, I'm not proud of this fact at all. It's really sad and disturbing, but it's so easy when you're opiate addict. If you're doing fentanyl, it used to be heroin, now it's fentanyl. If you're doing fentanyl, it is so easy to overdose, right? Because it is so powerful, and they mix it with other stuff to make it not as powerful. But you can get there. You got to think of people mixing up powders, right? They might not mix up all. There might be a batch where the fentanyl didn't get mixed in with the other stuff that makes it less strong. So, and you might get that little batch, that little spot where it's just pure fentanyl, right? So even accidentally, people can mix it up and not mix it all the way, and then they sell it, and the addict buys it, and when they buy it, they don't know, and they didn't know that they didn't mix it all the way good, and you don't know, right? So you just use with your normal amount, and boom, you're gone, right? It's so easy. It can happen just like that. Because this is so powerful. Like, it's literally a tranquilizer. Where they came up with this idea and how they came up with this fentanyl shit, I don't know. All I know is when I started using heroin, it was heroin. And then at about like 2 or 3 years after I started using heroin, it became fentanyl. And there was no heroin. It was all just fentanyl, right? But I started with pain pills. But, man, this, like, it's like, and it is hard to talk about because I've lost so many people, and people are dealing with this disease every day. I deal with it myself every day. And it's a battle. It is. But man, it was sad. It was sad to see. Like, I'm still sad. It's been like, it's Tuesday. The show dropped on Sunday. I'm still sad about Ruse. That, like, I'm so like, Maddie, why would she even tell that to, like, that was the dumbest shit she ever did, was say, oh, she was talking with Rue, yeah, she was talking to the DA and these Nazis. But why would you tell him that? And I knew something as soon as she went to sleep and Ali woke up and he seen that she was up early, eating cereal and just, you know what I mean, just nothing's going on. I, like, right then, I had a feeling like something ain't right. He's like, oh, you're up early, right? Because usually she don't get up that early. She usually will sleep in or whatever. And so something wasn't right. And then when she seen Fez was on, and RIP to Fez, he lost his life to this addiction as well. And condolences to his family. That was sad hearing. Like, and that's how prevalent this shit is. Like, the actor, like, do you know how crazy that is? The actor on a show about addiction, about specifically opiate addiction, dies of an OD. The actor that's playing the part of a person that's in a show about the same thing he's doing, right, or did. Crazy. And he really, like, he became like a household name overnight after when that show. He straight, his personality, he killed that role, killed it. He was one, besides Rue, he was my second favorite character. For him, it was Fez and Rue was my two favorite characters of the show. Then maybe like Maddie, and then Ashtray. Ashtray probably might be third. Yeah, he might be third, or he might be tied with Fez for second. But then maybe Maddie would probably be third. But Maddie telling him, and then, like, I knew something was, like, he was just too nice to her. And at first I did think it was genuine, because she got away from the house. She did what he wanted her to do. He gave her the money. I was surprised he gave her all that money, and then he gave her I was really surprised he gave her the pills too. I'm like, what? He just told her about not doing drugs, but then he gonna give her drugs. I'm like, all right, well, okay, maybe he just feels bad for her because she was in pain. And later that night, before she went to bed, she took one last pill, and to seal the deal, to make sure that she thought it was safe to take, he took one when he gave her hers, to show her like, oh, these are safe to take. But really, they was the pills that was in the bottle was laced with fentanyl. Those wasn't no regular perks, because she wouldn't have passed if it was. But seeing Ali, like even Ali, it changed his whole life. Finding Rue like that, his faith. He said his faith was gone. He went back to drinking. He said at the meetings, he said it's gonna be my last meeting. But I'm glad he got. I'm happy he got that revenge. That was good. That was good scenes too. Like it was kind of like a Western type vibe. They had the whole OK Corral shootout thing, whatever. But it just hit me. I just felt for the character. And I felt for Ali. But I thought it was a nice send off. I like that he got revenge and all. That was cool. But what I really liked even more was that he went back to the place where Rue wanted to go, where she felt the most at peace. Was at that ranch with that family, that Christian family, and it was out like kind of in the desert type area. And she said that's where she wanted to move to. That's where she was gonna move to. And it's just he went that, and when as soon as he pulled up, he said my daughter was here. Yeah, it hit me in the feels for sure. Yeah, man, I never related to a character this much. Like, it is crazy how much I related to Rue. And it's sad that the show has ended, even though I think it was a good conclusion. Like, I think it took so long to get this season that I'm just happy that it got out for real. And I feel like it's a fitting conclusion. And the sad part is the way Rue went out, overdose, right? A lot of us, that's the way it happens for a lot of us. That's the sad truth, is that a lot of people, a lot of addicts didn't get the chance to get clean. They didn't. They OD, and it cost them their life. So RP and condolences to anybody who ever lost anyone from addiction or overdose. My heart goes out to you. Yeah, this was a hard one. This was a hard one, man. This was a hard one. Like, it's sad, but it's the reality, right? It's the reality. And hopefully this will keep somebody from making that wrong decision. Maybe this could, hopefully it'll help somebody or save some lives. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. 7 Day. I'm out.
You're now listening to the 7 Day.